Welcome to the TMZ Effect, inside Harvey Levin's celebrity empire. I'm Shirin Rajaee. Harvey Levin has been a force in American media for decades. He's the man behind TMZ and a familiar face here at Fox 5, doing interviews and segments with us where he puts a spotlight on some of pop culture's biggest and most controversial stars. So we decided to turn that spotlight back around on him. Here's this rare inside look at one of the most intriguing figures in entertainment and how he keeps his media empire running. For about 5 years, Harvey Levin and I have been doing segments on Fox 5 together from two different coasts.
I want to make a prediction. There's going to be a surprise performance at the Grammys on Sunday night.
Tubi's Super Bowl commercial, a little too good, tricking millions of Americans. If you didn't see it, all those Super Bowl parties, Rihanna shocked the world. Dishing on all sorts of celebrity news remotely, but never in person until now.
I'm so excited to see.
We're so excited, finally, in the flesh. I know.
I thought you were AI. I did. I didn't think you were real.
This is your home?
This is our home. Come on in. So this is our newsroom. We try to fit as many people as we could. Everybody in here has different jobs.
Yeah.
But everybody in LA is connected with 6 degrees of separation. We are coming up on 19 years. Meet our audio host. What do you think?
You can't fit 2 people in there.
No, it's close quarters.
You have shows, you have documentaries, you have a
Website.
I mean,
Bus tours.
there's bus tours. How do you handle all of it happens here?
Everything happens here.
But it's amazing how much this has grown.
Yeah.
On a recent trip to Los Angeles, we decided to tell the story of the man who built his career reporting out some of Hollywood's biggest stories.
So, Justin was charged with a criminal misdemeanor of driving while intoxicated in Sag Harbor a couple of months ago.
So we come here at 6 in the morning.
Okay.
And we all work until about 7:45, and then we pull chairs up right here.
Oh, this is
This is where we do our TMZ TV show.
People are going to have relationships with robots. It starts with texting, that's the gateway, and then all of a sudden, you're screwing a robot.
Oh my God. Many may not know, Harvey is a lawyer and former investigative reporter.
Incidentally, Cochran denies coaching that witness when he was making the hand gestures that you saw. He said he was simply talking to the court reporter.
And he built TMZ from the ground up with this news team, including this familiar face, Michael Babcock.
Good, how are you? It's so good to meet you in person.
And there was Charles Latiboudier, busy working.
Don't want to interrupt, Charles.
Harvey gave us a look around.
Don and Garrett, I'll show you our bomb shelter. That's our bomb shelter. We have a TMZ bomb shelter. Hand up. There are bombs.
Okay, those bombs are not real, and that big thing is just storage. In fact, this building used to be an old post office. Harvey tells me the post office left their sign, and there was a small dispute when they wanted it back.
They wanted their sign back?
They wanted their sign back, and we said, no, we got the sign. You left it. If the post office is watching, I didn't do it.
TMZ launched nearly 2 decades ago in 2005 in the city of Los Angeles. It started as a simple website about celebrities and entertainment, eventually becoming one of the most credible sources for pop culture.
It was rough at the beginning. I mean, it was really, because, it's like TMZ. Nobody knew what it meant. Nobody knew what it was. It stands for 30 Mile Zone. A long time ago, if you shot a movie within a 30-mile radius of the Writers Guild, which is around the West Hollywood area, you did not have to pay to put extras up in a hotel or give them a per diem. If you did it outside that 30-mile radius, you did have to put them in hotels. So they called that the 30-mile zone.
Wow.
And we were trying to think of, what are we going to call this thing? And we went through hundreds and hundreds of names. And when I heard 30 Mile Zone, I thought, I like the Z. And so we thought, we'll call it TMZ. And then if it succeeds, then we can tell a story about what it actually means.
That is really neat.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the evolution of TMZ.
Okay.
I mean, in 2005, This was a website primarily
and I was
known
younger.
for gossip news. And now news organizations depend on TMZ for breaking news.
We never were a gossip news site. We were fact-based from the beginning, and that was always the idea. Look, I mean, some of the stories we do are silly and some are really serious and everything in between, but we always started this as a news organization because at the time there was no news organization online. And we thought there's this open lane there, and if we could do celebrity news, and it's now turned into more pop culture, but you could do celebrity news and you're accurate, you're fair, and you run it like you would a news organization, because I worked for many of them before TMZ, that eventually you would develop a reputation for being a place people could go to get accurate news in this space. And so that was always our goal. And within a year, we broke the Mel Gibson story.
The DUI?
The DUI, we broke a lot of stories.
And how do you exactly vet your stories?
Well, we vet the stories the way you vet stories. I mean, we have researchers, we have producers who work on these stories, we have lawyers. We fully vet what we do. I mean, accuracy is really, really important to us, and fairness is really important to us. Are you accurate 100% of the time? No, but we make few mistakes. And when we do, we own up to it. And that's our goal. And I think that's the way you establish trust. Look, we have a lot of sources. We have a lot of people in town that constantly talk to us. And they talk to us.
Because you pay them?
No, not at all. Not at all.
How do you have all these minions everywhere?
No, I'll tell you how.
These soldiers.
I will tell you how. There is a big problem with, especially entertainment news, where people just don't think they're getting fair shakes. And they don't trust people. There are people who want to do a story and they will cross the line because they want to get a really good headline. That's the short game. The long game is to do it right or do it the best you can, and then have people say to you, I'm going to come back and work with you because I know you're being fair, and I know you're being honest, and I know you do everything you can to be accurate. I'm telling you, that is it.
But what story do you think put you on the map where people took TMZ more seriously?
I think Mel Gibson was a huge deal. And it wasn't just because of what he did, it's the way the sheriff's department really hid the information.
Over the years, TMZ has broken some of the most iconic stories of our generation, including the high-profile deaths of pop superstar Michael Jackson and NBA legend Kobe Bryant.
There's an emergency.
Yes, sir. I need an ambulance as soon as possible, sir. We have a gentleman here that needs help, and he's not breathing.
Michael Jackson's the biggest story that I've really ever seen. And we were the ones that broke the story yesterday that he died. And there is a lot more to the story. And it involves possibly a doctor who some people are saying may have given him a fatal dose of drugs.
Those deaths that TMZ actually broke sent ripple effects around the world. Take me back to those days, the emotion here in the newsroom, the vetting process that went through it, because I can imagine a lot went into it because you had to get it right.
They were different. Michael Jackson happened during the week. I think it was a Friday. And initially, we had heard that he had gone to the hospital. I think we got a tip, somebody had told us that. It didn't really mean that much because Michael had gone to the hospital a lot. You know, during the trial that he had gone, it seemed, every week. So at first, we didn't think this was going to be a big deal. And then we heard two words, cardiac arrest. And that changed everything. So we got on the phones and we made 100 phone calls easy. And we just knew we had it. And you're right, it had to be 100%. It couldn't be 99, it had to be 100. And we published it. And, you know, pushing that button, you know what it means. And so that is a moment. And you just know that it goes from a little office to around the world. And, you know, you stare at that button for a bit. In 14 years that we've done TMZ, we have never seen a reaction to a story like this. And that includes Michael Jackson's death and Prince's death. Kobe was different because Kobe was on a Sunday. We got the tip and made a lot of calls and in touch with people in his camp. That one, we found out about it at around something like 9:30 in the morning, and I think we published it around 11:15. But again, it was one of those moments where, you know, you look at this button and you think, this is, you know, plus the emotion of knowing, because look,
Huge superstars.
like, I was a
Inspirational figures.
big fan of Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
I was a
same
huge
here.
fan of Kobe Bryant. So you really kind of have those emotions that go through you as you know about it, and then you do your job. But boy, pushing that button, it's a moment.
It leaves a toll.
Yeah.
Still to come,
I want to get a little personal.
Sure.
we talk about his age, how he looks so young,
This is what it looks like currently.
and a special skill I didn't know he had.
Isn't that incredible?
You're watching the TMZ Effect. So one thing I quickly learned about Harvey was that he's a master at name that tune, even by just hearing a couple notes.
He can do all of these within like 3 notes. Watch this. Just watch one.
Stop. Back in my arms.
Isn't that incredible?
Is this how
He's like Rain Man.
Stop. Oh, you keep me hanging on.
Have you ever seen anything like it?
No!
And that's not the only thing that has us in awe about Harvey.
I want to get a little personal.
Okay.
How do you look so damn good? You have a birthday coming up. Can we share how old you're going to be?
Sure.
74. No one believes me every time I tell them this.
Thank you for saying that, but I don't necessarily believe
It's
it.
not flattery. How do you look so good? Do you exercise? What do you eat? You look incredible.
Okay. Thank you. I don't believe you.
No, you
but
look so good.
No, I actually don't believe you. But no, I mean, I go to the gym. I work out 2 hours a day, very early in the morning, at 2:45 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
But it's my only option because I have to be here at 6.
You ever catch him taking a glimpse of himself in the mirror?
I bet he said no.
Sometimes he walks by and there's a twist shot and then walks by like this.
Hey, wait. I thought you said you don't wear tank tops.
Do you feel like this business keeps you young?
I really do. I've actually been thinking about this, and look, to be really honest, you know, my friends are saying, why aren't you just retiring? You know, why don't you just retire at this point? And that scares the crap out of me, because I think when you use your mind a lot and you have goals and you have a regimen, I think it does keep your mind vibrant.
Yeah.
And I worry that I don't think I'm the kind of guy that can retire. I think they got to carry me out of here.
Wow.
Okay. And this is what Shirin brought us?
Yes.
Shirin was bearing gifts. Look.
Listen, Persians don't come empty-handed to
See?
someone's home.
Nor did Jews.
So,
You eat really well?
I eat pretty well.
You look fit.
No, I eat pretty well.
You do.
I do cheat.
Okay.
But swimming is the key. Swimming, I mean, to me, swimming, I swim every day.
You do.
And it's just the best exercise, and it allows you to do things that you probably couldn't do if you didn't. But
It keeps your body.
Yeah, and
all
it just
your
keeps your metabolism a little bit.
muscles, yeah.
I just, because I love pasta. I mean, I should be Italian.
Because a lot of health really starts in the head and
Totally
the brain,
does.
right?
It totally does. And you know, and you know, it's funny because you play mind games with yourself when you do it, and you just think, I don't want to do it today, so I always play this mind game. If I don't do it today, I'll never do it for the rest of my life, and then I'm just going to die immediately. And so I freak myself out to make sure no matter how bad I feel, I'm going to do something.
That mental toughness, this is what they're talking about. Because really, age is a number and a perspective.
It totally is. Can this be brought up?
I've been Team Beard. That you started this.
I was just thinking about it today. I thought, wow, I've had this for more than a year.
This is going on for a year.
Yeah.
by the way, love it. Like Tom Hanks, Castaway.
Now, wait a minute. That was very unruly and gnarly. I don't know that I like that.
I'm keeping it.
You know how J-Lo says, "This is me now"? Is this Harvey now?
Well, yeah, there's a difference. J-Lo did it for vanity. For me, I'm figuring, as I get older, what I just need to do is cover up my face. So this is what it looks like currently. In 2 years, it will just basically be like this.
Is there a story or a memory that stands out to you over all these years?
Yeah, one of my biggest missteps was we did a show called Objectified, where we interviewed celebrities, and we looked at their life through objects that they kept over the years. And I did an episode with Shaq.
The objects people choose to keep in their home define who they are. This is Objectified, Shaquille O'Neal.
Can I try?
You can try if you like.
Okay. We ended up on his basketball court in his house. Somehow, I thought it was a good idea to play one-on-one with Shaq.
I missed this.
Yeah, I'm glad you missed it, because there was a point where I was dribbling the ball and literally I went like somersaulted onto the ground where the cameraman thought I had died on the court. And he's just looking down at me, just thinking, you are a pathetic human being. And I remember, and the problem is that my staff now has this right in their holster, and they've put it on the show like 100 times. But it was humiliating.
That's amazing. Can I get a copy of that video?
Sure.
And we did.
I want one more shot at you.
Whatever you want, Harvey. You're not going to score.
Okay. I just need to think about this for just a second, okay? It's possible.
Go ahead.
Right?
But I'm going to let you shoot.
Okay.
No. No.
Okay, we gotta see that one more time.
Safe.
Still to come, from a simple website to bus tours and documentaries, what's next for TMZ?
This is a business that you either grow or you die.
We'll take a look into their future plans. The TMZ Effect, back in a moment.
Kenneth, before we leave, can I just tell you something?
Yeah.
We just hired a producer who has ties to DC.
Oh, really?
What do you think?
Oh my God! What are you doing? No, Shirin! What
do
is
you think?
happening right now?
Oh, Kenneth, I love you so much.
Kenneth, I thought she was AI. I honestly thought she was AI.
Shirin, I did not expect to see you. That is a surprise right there.
Over the years, TMZ has earned the respect of many in Hollywood. So much so, they even get mail from A-listers from time to time.
Paris, how's the baby? We want to talk all about the baby, Paris. Oh my goodness.
Like 18 years ago, when Paris Hilton got in trouble with a DUI, she ended up going to jail for a little bit. So we were doing stories, and I think we were kind to her. And so from jail,
No way.
Paris Hilton drew a picture of her next to the telephone watching TMZ and wrote us a note.
Harvey's been building on their reputation, no longer just a website.
Who's excited to get selfies today?
TMZ has since launched bus tours, shows, even documentaries.
Is there a documentary? I mean, we've seen 9/11, O.J. Simpson, Britney Spears. Is there a documentary that has stuck with you, that has moved you, given the revelations that have come from it?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, there are several that really had an impact. The one that I felt most emotional about was the story about Dominique Dunn, who was killed by her boyfriend.
Poltergeist actress Dominique Dunn died today.
He said, I've just killed my girlfriend. Justice was never served. until now.
Her father, Dominic Dunn, who was a very big writer and producer, became a really good friend of mine actually during her murder trial. And there was a grave injustice in that case. And it was shocking what the judge did. The guy who did it ended up getting off after 2.5 years with manslaughter. The judge wouldn't allow in evidence of another woman he had tried to strangle and beaten badly. And Dominic died. And I always wanted to do that documentary. Dominique was one of the stars of Poltergeist, the movie. And she had her whole life in front of her, and she was killed by this guy. And I always wanted to do this just to show what injustice was really like. So I was really proud of that documentary, and it meant a lot to me.
What's next for TMZ? I mean, where do you kind of take it from here? I know you're not going to plan on retiring. So what kind of new things do you see?
I mean, there are all sorts of opportunities. You know, we're doing new syndicated shows. And so if you look at the evolution in 19 years, just think about what it's going to be with AI.
Taylor Swift wants you to vote for Donald Trump, according to this fake AI endorsement Donald Trump posted.
How are you going to deal with Photoshop photos, deep fakes, all the misinformation, especially with this election?
It's a whole new world with AI and with all of the things you just said. I think it's a challenge that none of us have seen yet. AI really developed since the last election.
Robots are amazing tools that improve our lives / give us something new to potentially have sex with. But when they start ripping us off, that's when Scarlett Johansson steps in to say, "This does not compute!"
Sam Altman actually approached Scarlett Johansson and said, "We want to hire you to voice this character." She turned them down. Well, the product rolls out, and that still sounds exactly like Scarlett Johansson.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking.
So I think we're really in for it here, and I think it's only going to get worse.
Robots murder us all. Goodbye, everybody.
I mean, after somebody in the bed, what else are you going to talk about?
Right. I do think news has shifted. And the one thing that made me realize I think where the future is going was the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial.
And now Johnny versus Amber, the last episode ever. We think.
When I watched what happened there, TikTok owned that story.
She doesn't have the money to pay. He wanted a judgment saying, "I'm not a wife beater," and he got it.
And what was really interesting is that people who had a take on it were being watched as much as any news outlet. And the people who had takes were biased. But the difference between them and traditional media, where they're pretending not to be biased on both sides, is that they don't hide it on TikTok. So you know what you're getting. And there's no pretense of, oh, we're being fair. They're taking positions. I think that way people consume TikTok during that trial made me realize this is a really powerful media tool that I think is going to be really relevant and influential because people look at that. And it's not even so much they're saying, oh, I trust so-and-so like people used to trust Walter Cronkite.
Sure.
But they like certain people, and those people are very open about their bias. And I think it's better to be open about a bias if you have one, and that's what you're using, than to pretend you're not.
As we wrapped up our time in Los Angeles, Harvey leaves us with these words of advice.
Sometimes you chart your own path, and sometimes you find things you could do that others aren't doing, and you try them, and sometimes they succeed, and sometimes you fail. But you don't succeed unless you're not afraid of failing. And there have been plenty of failures, and you got to throw darts.
We thank you for watching the TMZ Effect. I want to thank Harvey and his entire team for being so gracious, for bringing us into their home, into their world. This was just an amazing experience. We hope you enjoyed this inside look at TMZ. Until next time, I'm Shirin Rajaee. Thanks for watching.